If I remember correctly, I think there was a video I did kind of similar to this where I was kind of ranting about the whole situation about 27 and me being a 27-year-old, and then here we are 1 year later, me turning 28, and just rambling about that again, which is really interesting. But I actually took the opportunity this morning while I was getting stuff done to see that video and listen to it and kind of see where exactly I was within my own point of life when I was turning 27. And, looking back at it, that was a pretty fun day, because I ended up watching Friday Night SmackDown at San Diego, being there to see, people like Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes, Rey Mysterio made a special appearance. So it was like a really fun event, but it's really interesting for me to look back at what I kind of commented on and seeing whether I made any progress at all within this past year with the things that I had mentioned, which I know a lot of it had to do more so with like personal goals, such as owning my own place, owning my own car, getting my license, and so on and so forth. And lo and behold, just to keep it really short, up to this year, I have done none of that. I literally didn't do anything that I set out to do, but I do want to mention that even though I didn't complete those goals within my 27 year, I feel like right now, me turning 28, a lot of those goals are so much closer to actually becoming reality. What do I mean by that? So I know within that video I did mention about by the end of the year I wanted to be, licensed with my own profession and how I was done with my hours, but I had never really submitted my application to do it. Well, within the past year, I was actually able to submit my application and all of my documents and my hours were actually approved for me to take the test. The thing that sucked was the fact that I actually submitted my documents during the summer and my application was approved on October, which basically meant that I could either one, study really hard and take my clinical exam during the holidays, or two, wait for the holidays to be over, still study during the holidays, but obviously de stress myself by taking the test once the holidays were over. And obviously, with me not being licensed, you could kind of tell which option I ended up choosing. So even though I didn't get my license, lo and behold, I am actually really close to getting it because I have the end of this year, October of 2026, to actually take and pass my exam. If for some reason I don't pass the exam, that's going to be on me and I'm going to have to redo the whole application process again. But I know for me, I'm really definitely trying my hardest to just get it out the way, get my license, get an extra pay, so on and so forth. The other thing, like I mentioned, obviously getting my own place, like apartment, house, condo, whatever, that in and of itself is a much longer term goal. It's not something that I could complete within a year because obviously for me, being a California resident, living alone independently, owning something like an apartment, like a house, like a condo, it's just not feasible as a solo individual. You usually need like a partner or like a family to be able to do something like that. So I know for me, I've been slowly building my assets, building my savings, getting as much as I can out of my current situation to really give myself the opportunity to launch out into the real world by getting my own place. And that is very similar to the entire car situation. I know within that video a year ago, I was hyper fixated on muscle cars, sports cars, Camaros, Chargers, I think even there was a point where I thought about getting a Corvette, which that is still a dream of mine to get a car like that. But I think since then I actually scaled down to what I actually want to get, and I've been doing a lot of car shopping and a lot of digging around as to what car I'm actually going to be getting, and I ended up going for a Toyota Camry that I'm gonna be getting a 2026 one. So I am still saving up to obtain that car, but I'm really hoping that I'm able to obtain that goal within these upcoming months as well. Mainly because the car that I'm driving right now has transmission issues, so the fact of me getting a car is going to be happening. So it's really interesting that word that I'm saying because of the fact that obviously the big goals I had for my 27th year, which was last year, I wasn't able to complete any of them, but I am starting off me being 28, being very close to obtaining all of the goals that I had set within these upcoming months. So that for me is super, super exciting. And in and of itself, even though I was not able to do a lot of these goals that I set out to do, 2025 in and of itself, which was my 27th year, like I'm mentioning, was a really fun time for me. Because, like I mentioned last year when I made that video right about my fellow 27-year-olds, that same day I was going to a SmackDown in San Diego to watch, my favorite sport of all time, which is WWE, and watching it live, which I had a lot of fun. Not only that, but I've been able to go to WrestleMania in Vegas, which was really, really fun. I went for both nights. Obviously, it was way more expensive than I give it credit for, but I actually attended WrestleMania for the second time in my life, which the first one was back in 2023 with WrestleMania 39, and obviously with this one being 41, I had a lot bigger hopes due to like the people who were showing up and being able to see a lot of the history-making stuff, like the triple threat match between, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns, and even that main event, even though it was lackluster, of John Cena versus Cody Rhodes, with John Cena winning his 17th world title. And then even fast forward a little bit more, and I was able to actually go to Money in the Bank here in California, which I believe that was in July. So it's like all the other things that I feel like attribute to just me having a lot more fun is something that I was able to do this year. And I've been able to do so much fun stuff, whether it's kind of playing video games with my friends to de-stress over long periods of time, being able to go out to these wrestling events, going out to maybe even concerts if I had the opportunity, or even spending time with some of my family and relatives. Like I had an uncle from Mexico come, and I was able to take a day off of work to take him to Disneyland, which as a California resident, you don't see it as a big deal, but being able to spend it with somebody who had no idea what Disneyland looked like from the inside, from an outside perspective. Like the furthest we were ever able to get my uncle was downtown Disney. So being able to spend a full day, y'all, like we were there. It wasn't a full day. We were there from 9 a.m. to like 1 or 2 a.m. So we were there for a big chunk, not from opening to closing, but close to it. So being able to experience something like that with him was just so nice. So like I'm mentioning, even though I didn't complete any of the goals that I had set forth for my 2025 and my 27th year, I still feel like I'm in a much better position kind of going forwards with the things that I want to do. And don't get me wrong, it was kind of sad reflecting and hearing that video and seeing that a lot of the stuff that I had set out for me were not completed within that 1 year time frame. But I really have to just take a couple of steps back and realize that whatever it is that I do, it's always going to be a process, whether it's something I finish within a month or two, or some things that are going to take me more than years to do. It really isn't something that I should be putting in my mindset that if I don't do it, it's already a failure and I should stop doing it. So I feel like my change in mindset has just been the biggest thing for me. And I definitely feel at a much stabler place compared to maybe that crisis I had at 27, as I was mentioning, getting close to my new decade of 30. And yeah, it's still pretty scary, getting to 30 years of age and still having so many goals that I want to accomplish personally. Obviously, professionally, I'm basically almost there with, getting close to taking my exam. Financially, it seems like I'm in a bit better position with my savings and everything that I'm doing, even getting close to affording a vehicle like a new 2026 Camry, whatever model I'm doing, right? So it's just like so many things are going kind of where I want it to be that I'm not necessarily in a place of a plateau anymore. And I feel like I'm in a much better position to be like, this is where I want to be. Obviously, the goals are not going to be, once I'm 30, that's it, I'm done with my goals, right? I'm always going to have to keep on looking for the next best thing or the next things that I should be aiming for, whether it's my physical health, changing up my mentality and things that I do, any other goals I might have for content creation or just my own profession. Like everything is going to be intertwined. And I think I'm in a much better position to really be excited for what this year has in store for me. All in all, this kind of yap session is basically just saying that yes, I wasn't able to complete any of the goals I had for, 2025, but at the end of the day, that shouldn't be a bad thing, and I should continuously be working on setting goals and improving myself for this upcoming year. So, if it comes to any goals I want to make for this year, I can't really say that I want to get my license or a new car because those are more so imminent. Like obviously my license I have until October to take the test, and then my car is giving me issues, so a new car is pretty imminent. So that's that's not necessarily going to be a long-term goal for me. I feel like the things I need to start doing is taking better care of myself. I know looking at myself physically, you guys can't see it, but I get to see my face every day. I do have a lot of dental work that needs to be done. I should probably be looking for a dentist sometime soon now that I have insurance from my job, and then also checking up on my own physical health because I've noticed a lot of like abnormalities kind of happening in my body that's getting me a bit anxious, but all of this could definitely be subsided by going to a physician and just checking out my physical health to see if any, remedies or stuff are available. So I feel like that's going to be my biggest thing is much more so taking care of myself physically and above all else, just having a lot more fun. I don't have any events for this year. Maybe I'll be going to WrestleMania Vegas this year again. Really depends on what the card is looking like as well as how much the tickets cost. That's going to vary, so maybe I'll go, maybe I won't, but I'm really looking forward to seeing what events are going to be happening as well as what fun things I will be doing. So hopefully you guys are having an amazing day. This was just me to keep myself in check and to post another video as I probably get close to the 30-year mark. So if that's the case, I might be making another video next year when I'm 29, and then obviously maybe the big one once I'm 30. So let's see what happens this year, and let's keep on working hard, y'all. Peace out and take care.